Hey you guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff to go and talk about in regards to the FTC and basically involving Sony and their acquisitions and other acquisition news, which is overall kind of big when it comes to, just companies buying stuff, getting stuff, and all of that. We have even more, once again, big new game leaks. We also have a brand new big event going on too as well, and also a bit of gaming drama too when it comes to, well, basically not making any money. We have lots of stuff to go talk about all throughout this video, and as well a bit of a ramble too on that one kind of big topic, mainly because we've been seeing like a little bit of heat on this floating around when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to Reddit, when it comes to TikTok, and as well, I'm sure a lot more people will be kind of bringing it up on the YouTube scene and other scenes too as well in the very near future. And as well, this also kind of goes and ties into a lot when it comes to Xbox too, so let's go and talk about this and talk about a lot of other various things. And I hope you guys are all having a fantastic, lovely rest of your nights. So kind of wish we had a little bit more on the, well, I guess restocking news, a little bit of stuff all throughout the day, but it'd be a little bit nice if we had a little slightly better stuff as of tomorrow. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below, and sign up for that. We will sign up for that Coinbase and all the other Twitter stuff too as well, all link down below. So let's go and dive in the video. So one of the really, I think, big things that's been floating around, we've seen a few news articles and overall kind of big acquisition sides, is that the FTC is not going to be looking a little bit more into the whole Sony's $3.6 billion Bungie basically buyout. So as you guys have probably had a chance to go and see when it comes to this stuff, we saw that basically a few weeks ago, a month ago or so, that Sony itself wanted to go and, well, obviously go buy Bungie. It's a multi-billion-dollar buyout. It's a really big one. And although it's not as big as, the huge Activision acquisition, it's still pretty big. And now when it comes to this stuff, I'm kind of wanting to see kind of dress on it, mainly because when it comes to the FTC, it's like the Federal Trade Commission, they essentially want to make sure that everything is going good. They want to make sure the whole actual deal itself goes good. They want to make sure there's no proper big monopoly law going good. No antitrust laws going good. And as well, obviously making sure the deal is clean. It's not anything illegal. There's not anything else tied on in with it, like money laundering or, all the usual stuff. And so I think it's more so on the, I think at this point, monopoly wise. And I do think, if anything, this deal will probably go in perfectly fine, but it does not go and add a lot more extra warrants on what could or could not be happening. So the FTC looking into this more is somewhat of a standard procedure when it comes to acquisitions, when it comes to getting stuff, when it comes to moving stuff, when it moves to moving stock, when it comes to private companies and equity. But it is always intriguing to kind of note because there is always a chance that a lot of these acquisitions that we keep hearing don't actually go through. In the same regards to the Xbox acquisition, there actually is a bigger than zero chance, actually more bigger than you guys would probably expect of it actually not going through. Although at this point it's a little bit more on the Microsoft side rather than the Sony side, but it's very intriguing to go and see that basically it's under scrutiny, it's under watch, and that there is also, once again, a pretty small chance that Sony itself might actually not have a chance to buy Bungie. And they would probably throw a lot of their things just kind of through a loop, mainly because when it comes to a $3 billion deal, those are, believe it or not, that's actually a really big acquisition. Now, we do sometimes see these really big mergers or really big acquisitions overall, but a $3.6 billion one is definitely something that would actually make proper news. Imagine the news itself online, articles, gaming news, and all of that, and especially the Activision ones, because that's just one of the biggest ones we've ever seen, almost in the entire world. Big franchises, big business, etc., etc. I just want to let you guys know we've been seeing a little bit more on the testimony side. We've also been seeing a few more people chiming on in throughout various social medias, saying that actually Sony might have a chance to get some of these acquisitions blocked. Now, as I said, I'm not necessarily a lawyer or acquisition lawyer. I'd probably say just in terms of the actual reality of the world, I'm not seeing the chance for Sony's acquisitions to fall through. The company itself is a big company, but not big enough to be a monopoly, especially in comparison to Microsoft. Sony itself is also they've worked with Bungie before. It's pretty easy to have a proper connection with them. I don't think there's anything major big deals with it. So I do think it'll go through. I do think it'll be fine, but it's always intriguing to go and see that when we have these big corporate organizations kind of putting a little extra magnifying glass on companies such as Sony. Because, well, it's scary. And that's why I kind of even brought up the Xbox acquisition, because the Xbox acquisition, I think, has a lot more higher likelihood of not going through. Microsoft at this point is pretty big in terms of, well, everything in terms of gaming when it comes to Windows, and basically Microsoft has been under really big scrutiny in terms of monopolies for a long time, and at this point it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we just kind of essentially have to wait for that line to be crossed. And whenever that line is crossed, Microsoft can actually go and kind of probably make some big steps into, well, obviously making sure it can move on and kind of go from there. So we're gonna have to go and see. These acquisitions are still gonna not fully finalized, although we have had a chance to see a lot of them. The one I think biggest struggle still is the fact that we have to wait for the regulatory approval and going from there. So I think Sony and Sony executives are probably going to be a little bit on the worried side, myself included, because I actually do play Destiny a fair bit every now and then, so always down with that. Now, for some other kind of bigger news too as well, kind of talked about this, if you guys did not go and see, we actually have another brand new big gaming conference coming over here from our good old boy, Jeff. Jeff Keighley himself has now officially confirmed as of today the Summer Game Fest, which is actually more of his brand new game shows. Basically, if you guys saw, I think the very first year was last year. So this is basically the second year going. Very nice to go and see having a round 2. So basically, this is the Summer Game Fest streaming live on Thursday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific. 2 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. GMT, and basically, if you guys are kind of curious on what's going on with this, we actually did see a lot of pretty big and even AAA games involved with this. Now, I don't want to say it's on the same level play as like the Microsoft event, but it's pretty close. And as you guys know, we kind of lost a lot of the E3 showcases these past few years, especially with the pandemic going on. So the fact that we actually have someone like Jeff actually stepping on in, and it's pretty much a nice like little mid-lull going on between this and as well with the Game of the Year award. So last year was pretty good. I think we had some very big announcements. They also even had things like, with Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Like literally all three were involved, although it might be slightly less on the Xbox side because as you guys know, we've been mentioning throughout this week, there actually has been a pretty big Xbox showcase is also confirmed for the summer, which I kind of do enjoy the idea because usually like the next few weeks for gaming, we don't have as many big AAA games, we don't have as many game releases, and as well, we just don't really have any release dates. As I keep on kind of harping on for Xbox, we don't have official dates for Starfield, we don't have official dates for other releases, so at the end of the day, it's a little bit on the scarier side to go and see that, well, we just don't have official dates on it as of yet. So a lot of things to go talk about, a lot of things to go and just, I guess, like think about, but it is always nice to see more of these coming on in, and the show itself actually was a pretty good success, and, there is a lot of ads, you guys could always make fun of it too, I'm sure most people did, even I did, but when it comes to that, I like seeing trailers, I like seeing new trailers, I like seeing content, and I like seeing brand new games, so the fact that we have a pretty nice week so far going on, and maybe we still have to wait for Sony itself to have an official notice when it comes to games and new games coming, so we have to wait a little bit for that one as well. But at least in the regards of Sony actually maybe having more games, once again, I feel like every other week we have a new Bloodborne, whether it's a remake or Bloodborne 2 or PS5 upgrade leak that comes on out. And this week is obviously not a new exception. So as a Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne PS5 upgrade isn't outside the realm of possibility, a PlayStation Insider and Sacred Symbols host Colin Morty is to be believed. Morty, who is a pretty well connected in the industry himself, has been fairly accurate with his information, teasing a new video that Sony isn't quite done with the game itself. And Bloodborne has probably still been one of my favorite Soulsborne type games. Elden Ring's pretty high up there if you guys still haven't gotten Elden Ring for God knows why. Go and get it soon, but this is probably one of my kind of higher up there. I really do like this game itself. And it's kind of intriguing because it's basically just been very silent. The game has been really good. A lot of people have rumors and leaks on it every other week itself. The sales are great, and well, people either want a proper remake like me, or like also be like a 60 FPS upgrade like me, or on top of that too, maybe a Bloodborne 2. Now, it could always be in the works because we've been seeing leaks and rumors on this like every other day at this point, but we'll have to kind of go and see. But some games, like Last of Us as well, have also already had upgrades and details and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I think the likelihood's very high. But it's funny because we just keep on seeing stuff every other day. So basically, every mention of Bloodborne is a glimmer of hope then, and Morty has given fans just that. The video basically provides a subjective ranking of the 25 best PlayStation 4 games as well, and Bloodborne is actually number 9 to on top of that. So even goes in quotes saying, "You haven't seen the last of Bloodborne? I'll tell you that too before moving on," and people noticing that over from Reddit. And then last but not least, to play a game I'm actually kind of curious, and if you guys made it this far throughout the video, leave a comment down below. Outriders actually had a pretty huge, big, once again, miss, where Outriders itself didn't go and turn a profit throughout 2021, and basically has also apparently have not basically had any payouts for it too as well. And this was actually a game, I think I even did a review on this on my channel, funny enough, when it first came out. And, well, every game apparently that Square Enix keeps on making is just not making money, which is probably why they sold out so many of their actual, I guess, non-huge IPs. And apparently this game just absolutely fell, just absolutely flat. So basically, at least they did go and exceed their expectations on the metrics, including digital sales too as well. Sadly, it still did not go turn a profit, kind of how we saw as well with all the Avengers and everything else. So, just intriguing little gaming news to kind of on in. I do think the event news and also Sony, again in this big legal issue as well, will be the kind of the highlight over here. And hopefully have some more better news throughout these next few days. So I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below, the Weeble and Coinbase down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place. Love you guys.